If you're a fan of The Evil Within 3, then boy do I have some good news for you. In an interview between Shinji Mikami and Phil Spencer that I've seen almost nobody talking about, it's possible that The Evil Within 3 is in very early development. At Tokyo Game Show that happened a few weeks back, Phil Spencer and Shinji Mikami took the stage to discuss how at Tango, they're constantly trying to foster new talent, and some interesting new details came from that conversation. If we are indeed looking at The Evil Within 3, there's still going to be quite a wait, and we'll talk about that for sure later on. But for fans of the Evil Within franchise, it's been so long that we've heard anything that any possibility of a sequel to this beloved series is incredibly exciting. How is it going, everybody? My name is DeMarco, and if the name Evil Within seems only vaguely familiar or you possibly even forgot about it, then I wouldn't blame you. The Evil Within 2 is coming up on its 4-year anniversary since its release on October 13th, 2017. Since even before the announcement of Ghostwire Tokyo, when early rumors of Tango Gameworks' next project were circling around, fans were eagerly anticipating the possibility of it being the next entry in the Evil Within franchise. When Ghostwire Tokyo was finally announced with Akumi Nakamura at the helm during E3 2019, it took many of us by surprise, and some of us were admittedly disappointed. 2 years since that reveal, and we finally have new speculation about the possibility of The Evil Within 3. Many fans might have been skeptical at the possibility of a sequel to The Evil Within 2, as it failed to garner the level of attention that Bethesda and ZeniMax likely were hoping for, and it was reported that when it came to physical sales, The Evil Within 2 only sold about a quarter of what the original did. It's then understandable as to why Tango Gameworks would want to take a break from the franchise and then bring a hopeful resurgence to the IP later on, after it has had time for some new ideas to develop and new technology, more importantly, to be created. Ideally, although it's been a long wait, the prospect of having vastly superior technology than what was available in 2017, including the release of new consoles, should get fans highly excited if it is indeed true that Evil Within 3 is now being worked on. Currently, Ghostwire Tokyo is in active development at the studio. It's being led by Kenji Kimura. This is different from the Evil Within 2, which was directed by John Johannes, leaving it open as to what he might possibly be working on. Now, it has finally surfaced during the Tokyo Game Show that Johannes is in fact working on his own project, separate from that of Ghostwire, and given his past experience with the Evil Within franchise, the connection to a possible sequel is clear. Although no specific details were given, there's some tiny tidbits of evidence that give us a pretty concrete way of thinking. This possibility of a sequel should be massively exciting for fans. The Evil Within 2 left some massive cliffhangers, meaning there's much more to explore, if there wasn't already, within the Evil Within universe. And ideally, most of us are hoping to see the return of Ruvik, who was, without getting into any spoilers, a really intimidating antagonist, and surely he has to have more roles to play within the greater Evil Within universe. Whether it's from Sebastian's perspective or a brand new protagonist, surely there's more that has to go on from Ruvik. Beyond speculation, the bits of concrete evidence we can look at, with a little bit of digging, I was able to discover that the Evil Within trademark was sneakily renewed last year in 2020. And to make matters more interesting, this trademark for continued use was done just before Microsoft announced their plans to purchase ZeniMax. What does this mean? Well, it's entirely possible that in anticipation for the acquisition, Phil Spencer, the rest of the team at Microsoft, and ZeniMax have plans to continue this franchise once the exclusivity deal between Tango and PlayStation that's being used on Ghostwire Tokyo has expired. What's more is that Todd Howard has previously commented on Xbox services, specifically Game Pass in particular, that allows for studios to do more than they would normally. Todd Howard has specifically mentioned that it's possible, as a result of Game Pass, to greenlight more projects We saw this in the form of Obsidian Entertainment's Grounded, which was a title that normally would almost certainly not be released, as the full attention would have been spent on the much bigger AAA title, Avowed. However, because of Game Pass, this small, ambitious idea that was being thrown around in the studio was able to come to fruition and get some pretty active support, and found a really great and positive audience. For Evil Within fans, this means despite the lower sales that we saw in the Evil Within 2, it does not rule out the possibility of finally getting, years later, that third entry in the franchise. There is a bit of bad news that we do have to discuss. Unfortunately, there's still going to be a very long time until we finally hear anything about the game, even to the point of whether or not it is in fact the Evil Within 3. The original Evil Within launched in 2014. 3 years later, we saw the release of Evil Within 2, and between Evil Within 2 to Ghostwire Tokyo, we're looking at a 5-year gap. If this pattern remains at all consistent, then we won't be seeing the release of Tango Gameworks' next title until around the earliest 2025, and potentially as far as 2026. If you're anything like me, it is impossible to think that far ahead right now. We also have to keep in mind that with the acquisition of ZeniMax, it's very likely that we may see the Evil Within 3 as an exclusive to Xbox and PC, so very sorry there, PlayStation fans. Bethesda's previous comments did, however, state just a little bit of silver lining, that they will approach their games on a case-by-case basis, which means that any form of exclusivity is not a guarantee. But as we've seen a massive rise in acquisitions specifically lately and a focus on exclusive deals for both platforms, I'm not going to hold my breath. For any fans of the franchise, I hope that this gets you at least slightly excited. My personal take is I do not see Tango abandoning this franchise. Both the Evil Within 1 and the Evil Within 2 had their ups and downs, but I see the future of the Evil Within franchise as being pretty bright, especially with the advantage of Xbox Game Pass. The possibility of a sequel and finally getting the Evil Within 3 is more likely than it ever was before. We all want to see what's happening to Sebastian, to Joseph, and of course Julie, but for now, we have to continue being patient. Hopefully, all of us Evil Within fans out there can rest easily and unite in the fact that we are all in this wait together. So, what do you hope to see in the Evil Within 3? Let me know down in the comment section below. Where do you want the story to go? And do you want it to focus on Sebastian as the main protagonist? Or possibly from a brand new perspective? I want to know what you guys have to say. And for what it's worth, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be the Evil Within 3. I feel it in my bones. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody.